Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just saw something that a bunch of French parliamentarians are going to go to Rafah, supposedly to break the siege of Gaza. I assume that means that they're going to try to force open the Rafah border. Now, everyone has been talking about Egypt and everyone has been talking about Rafah and blaming Egypt for not opening the border. Meanwhile, aid has been going through. People have been passing through the checkpoint. Getting medical aid and so on. You understand that Egypt shares control of Rafah border with Israel. My question is, why is everyone focusing on the Egyptian border when Gaza has two borders? Why is it that the only border that should be open is the border with Egypt and not the border with Israel? Why don't you break the siege of Gaza at the Erez checkpoint? Why do you have to go to Rafah? They're not attacking Gaza. They're not the ones who are imposing the barricade and the blockade of Gaza. They're not the ones who are laying siege to Gaza. Why don't you break the siege at the point at which, at the country that's laying siege to Gaza in the first place? Why don't you break the siege of Gaza at Erez checkpoint? Why don't those French parliamentarians go to Erez checkpoint and force that to be open and force Israel to allow Palestinians into Israel? Because all they're trying to do actually is to lay all of the blame for Israel's atrocities on Egypt and force Egypt now to accept Palestinians into Egypt, meaning that they're trying to force the expulsion of Palestinians from Gaza. That's all they're doing. But they're making it look like it's a humanitarian intervention. Well, if you want to do a humanitarian intervention, then do it at Erez checkpoint and make the Israelis take the Palestinians back into their own land. Why do you want to send people into Egypt? You know, pay attention to what's happening. Everyone is laying the blame on the Arab regimes and on the Arab governments and on the neighbors, on Egypt and on Jordan and on all of the Arab countries, and no one is laying the blame on Israel for what they're doing. Why do you have to break the siege of Gaza at the Rafah border and not at the Erez checkpoint border? Explain it. Because all you're trying to do is get Palestinians out of Gaza. You're trying to cooperate and collaborate with the Israelis, making it look like you're doing it on behalf of the Palestinians. Maskhara. They couldn't do it by force. They couldn't do it by willing collaboration. So they're trying to do it by trickery. Pay attention to what they're doing.